So then, as I tell you, every time I vacuum, I think my rug actually sheds.
No, I think it does. And what the fun part about it is that it grows back.
Yeah, because you see my vacuum over there?
Yeah.
Most of that is rug.
That's kind of terrifying.
But it doesn't change.
It stays the same always.
Like it does. Yeah, apparently because it.
Where did you buy said infinity rug? That's what I'm curious about.
I didn't.
New at IKEA.
It actually came from my parents' storage room.
Oh.
It became enchanted. That's why it's so.
Yeah, from the enchanted storage room, right?
Wonder how much experience does it give you?
Plus, it's not working apparently. If it does, so.
Anyways, all right. So let's just move on. Should we do the old introduction?
I mean, it's a good idea. Yeah, I know when I listen to podcasts, I always skip around.
All right, fine. Okay, so we're here with the.
Oh, we're doing that.
Yeah,
sure.
Welcome to the podcast. We're here with.
Oh, hey, we're here with me and her and him.
Who are you?
I am me.
Who is she?
She is her.
Ah.
These are questions we must all ask ourselves.
What is it without an I? So I is it?
Yes.
So then.
But T is also it.
So then, what is a T compared to I?
Everything. That you ever wanted it to be.
That is the burning question.
Anyways, I am joined by the Bard and the Lizard Breath, and this is the toast.
And we are not getting to the bottom of that question.
No, we are not, because I don't feel like elaborating on it.
Yeah.
But you know what else has got me thinking besides hypotheticals? All right, so this one's gonna go out to our Rick and Morty fan base.
Cool.
Which is all of everyone who. I don't know how many people even are listening right now, but so most people I'm sure have at least seen
or heard of
the Mr. Meeseeks. So Lizard Breath doesn't.
I am out of the circle here.
So send hate mail that way.
Yeah, just scour the internet, find the person, and be like,
yeah,
hate mail's going to you.
How dare you not watch this show? But so we're gonna explain it to you, which will help if there's someone listening who doesn't know as well. So the point of Mr. Meeseeks is he comes forward and you give him some activity to help you do, and when it's completed, he disappears.
Lifespan, just to give you some kind of idea of this, of a Mr. Meeseeks shouldn't be any more than maybe 2 hours. Now, to give you more of an idea...
So it's like a mythical task rabbit, essentially.
It's something like that. Like, so it's just, you pop him and be like, hey, I need you to sweep my floor. He's like, okay, sweep the floor, done, poof.
They just disappear.
Yeah, just poof, literal.
Okay.
So, what I was thinking about the other day when I was watching it was, what if... say a police officer got a hold of the Meeseeks box and he needs help trying to figure out this case. He pops one open, hi, I'm Mr. Meeseeks, look at me. He goes, okay, I need to find this killer, go. But the case goes cold.
Oh, wow.
And it can't be solved. So to help you out, if a Meeseeks can't poof away, it is like a living torture. So putting it into the aspect of trying to solve a thing that can never be solved, where does that continue on via that situation?
I figured it would just become old and decrepit. It just, because you started to see the decay in the show.
Yeah, and that was only in a couple hours.
Yeah, and just imagine several days, weeks, even months.
Years.
Yeah, years.
Cold cases could never be solved again.
Just sits in the corner as this disgusting pile of...
Oh, looks like we got some files here. Well, they led us to about halfway, and now we don't know where the guy is.
Or does he become the best detective ever to solve it?
So determined.
Yeah, because his literal existence rides on ending this case.
So that he can poof away. Because it's, like you said, it's torture. It is a nightmare of all nightmares.
Exactly. So... there's really only two outcomes. Either he goes crazy in the corner or becomes the best detective ever to solve the case.
But if we look at it in that standpoint, what happens if it just doesn't happen and he can't solve it? Does he just wither away?
I don't know. I think that's shout out to the creators to be like, hey, what happens to your Mr. Meeseeks?
Someone tweet them and we'll see.
Yes, someone who's not me do
Or
this
me.
thing.
Please.
or I don't know what social media is, so
He really doesn't. It's kind of sad.
Well, it's a form of media
I know the definition.
that's socially used.
Where's something that I can strike you with?
I'm sure there's something around here.
Yeah, maybe this hot sauce.
Why is there hot sauce? Don't you?
Reject it. Reject it.
Where'd it go?
Do we just start a play-by-play? And the hot sauce flies over the table and smacks Brad right in his hand as he catches. Oh no, he's pulling it back.
No, deflected. Deflected again.
No, you can't deflect all. Fireball.
No.
I got you.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
You didn't.
No, I got him.
Children,
He started it.
shut up.
I have the force field, okay?
No, you can't.
Yeah, 150 capability.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
That's not fair.
Yeah.
Ow.
Rejected.
Threw hot sauce at me. And that happened.
It did happen.
Thank you, hot sauce, for giving the right quote for that whatever just went on.
No, hot sauce. I am not buying it.
So
My ass.
generally, after such a strong intellectual moment, we would go into something maybe actually useful to the world.
College Kids Corner. We still don't have an intro song. Okay, so last week we kind of touched on this topic, I believe.
To a certain magnitude, but we didn't go over
The specifics.
exactly. We didn't go in depth.
We didn't go over the Pacifics.
We could go over the Pacific, but not today.
It requires an airplane.
Instead,
Or
we'll go
boat.
over the specifics.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yes,
Good ideas.
which is the South Pacific.
Ah.
Okay, so our topic is dorm living versus apartment living.
Hang on. If specifics
Or still on.
is the abbreviation of South Pacific, how do you pronounce the North Pacific?
I don't even know.
The Pacifics.
No Pacific.
The Pacifics.
No, the in asylum. Pacific.
No, you can't get out of there with the silent letter. That's not fair.
That's how we do it with night. The K is silent.
That's different.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
It's very different.
Whatever.
Like what? You don't say pterodactyl or opossum or Connecticut,
What? What about Arkansas?
Arkansas.
Arkansas. Yeah.
That'll piss someone off.
Our Kansas.
I'm just sitting here cringing this entire time.
Yeah, it looks like a big old smile. You look like you're having a
I'm
good
just
old
trying not to hit you right now.
jolly good time.
Just ready to rear back the arm and just go.
Let me see that. What is there around here I could throw? I mean, we ran out of.
Hey, don't throw the coaster at me.
Anyway, so the differences between dorm life and apartment living.
Don't throw
let's take
things
it from
at me.
People who have lived in a dorm versus people who have lived in an apartment or something along those lines, or both.
I've done both.
Why don't we start with both of you?
No,
Yes.
I don't want to.
Fine, then she can go.
You can go next.
Fine. Ladies first.
I have never lived in an apartment. I have lived in a dorm.
Age before beauty.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, shut the hell up.
You did not.
Oh, so beautiful.
Look at those long, disgusting dreads.
So anyway, I have never lived in an apartment. I did
Yeah,
live
high five.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I've lived in
you give
a very
no energy behind that.
small house once. That was almost like an apartment, but 3,000 times worse. Anyway, that's unrelated. I have lived in a dorm now for one semester, just beginning the second semester, and I already wish I was out there. In fact, I have signed a lease to be in an apartment starting in the fall. So, what about you?
I lived in a dorm room for one semester's worth. It was very interesting because the school I was going to is kind of military oriented. so there was a lot of room checks.
Different. Yeah.
Room checks every night, so that was fun.
Yeah, they don't do that in our dorm.
Yeah, no, they don't do it here because no one cares. Basically, a public school version of things. So, but after that, I went, no, I don't want to do this anymore, even though I knew it would be different. I want my own place to live. And, I mean, generally, the first part about looking at it was, one, I don't have to worry about moving in and out every time. Two, it was basically, depending on where you get, it's basically the same amount paying to get a small apartment versus living in the dorms.
Yeah, that's something I found in looking at apartments. It's like, that's not too much different.
Yeah, so it's like
depending.
I upgraded a little bit. I started in a studio, but I was like, yeah, I want a little more room to have activities.
That's understandable.
But when you start, get the 1.5 room apartment. It's all you need. Or if you have friends, then
room with friends.
Yeah, get the bigger place. Everyone split the rent, and then it's even cheaper.
And coming from a person who's lived in both the apartment and the dorm, I started off in a dorm that kind of resembled a hotel. It's 2-bedroom, 1 bath. Has you got enough space for a bed, a desk, and perhaps some other miscellaneous things. You've got a closet, all that good stuff. And the one thing that you don't have, and that's something that I looked for, was a kitchen. So you don't really have the ability to make food like you would want to when you go home. So if you wanted a home-cooked meal, that's the thing that you pay the price for. You don't got that, but all of everything is included. Hopefully this applies to most places. Your washer and dryer is included. That doesn't up your electricity bill. Electricity's paid for. Cable, water, all that good stuff. Your utilities and the amenities are already there.
So you should look between the differences between using the laundromat style room and then just having one included in the apartment building.
Of course, and I haven't really looked at how much that contributes to a bill based upon, because depending on how much you were using, it would really all come down to whether or not you were keeping track of that.
So, I mean, if you at least do it, I would say the least amount, twice a month?
Yeah, about every 2 weeks.
To generally do laundry.
And that's about what I do.
It depends on how much clothing you own.
Yeah, but that's saying you're in an apartment. You're in the situation that you don't need just a box.
Well, if you're like me and this is a really weird fact, I'm pursuing a more minimalist life and getting rid of a lot of my stuff.
That is weird.
I have
You can get one of those tiny homes?
Underclothes. I've thought about it. Minus underclothes, I have less than 50 pieces in my closet, so I can wash clothes once every week and be okay, but once every 2 weeks is a stretch. So it depends on who you are. Most people aren't minimalist. I realize that.
Well, see, this is the thing where you think about, from a financial standpoint, what makes more sense. If we look at all, like I said, all your utilities paid for within a dorm versus your utilities are not necessarily paid for in an apartment, and then looking at, if I get a 1-bedroom, 1 bath to myself, all right, and I have to pay for this higher price because I'm not splitting it up. Mm-hmm. And if I were to get a 2-bedroom, 2 bath for $900 and I have 2 people, that's $450 per person. So that's base level. Then you have to think about all the utilities. If we took one of the dorm examples that I can give here that's roughly like a 1-bedroom, 1 bath, you'd be paying somewhere between $667 per month for everything versus, the amount of money that I pay, which is a little on the ridiculous side, at $700.
Because,
minus utilities.
It depends with, it's like paying for the convenience.
Yeah.
Because there's a situation, so you have the big washroom building, whatever. Okay, so you go over there. Sure, it's only a couple dollars to get your thing done. But like you were saying earlier, you had to wait a long time for something to open. Or
I put my clothes on to wash at 9 o'clock this morning, and I didn't have an open dryer until 1 o'clock, 1:30 this evening.
So there's that, and then there's the whole thing with if you walk away, someone can just come steal your stuff. So then you're out of those anyways. So sure, it's cheaper to use them, but comparative to the ones you have, you get the convenience and the safety.
Yeah, and there's a third aspect to this too: the fact that there's a regular apartment versus a university apartment around a college. Because the apartment that I am potentially going to be in the fall is a university apartment, and so it is a little bit more expensive, at least in my opinion, than an apartment should be. I have 2 roommates, and everybody, of course, gets their own bedroom, bathroom, and everything. But it's $575 a month per person. Like, you pay per person instead of it being split up.
And I could discuss something along those lines and tell you that you probably have one of the better deals based upon your amenities that you get.
That's true.
Versus some of the older, and this is also something to understand, is that when you go to an apartment complex looking at newer versus older, yes, you are probably going to end up paying more money for something that is newer versus something that's older. But this sometimes isn't always the case. You can probably look at something that's newer being roughly the same price as something that's older. And I have seen that way too much here. But one of the other things is looking at convenience. You want to always think about what makes more sense. Do you want to be alone? Would you rather have company? Thinking about who you're living with and all those other things.
Yeah, at least in my experience, a big thing is knowing whether you thrive around people or if you thrive on your own. I know I thought going into college that I'm alone all the time. I enjoy being alone. I'm very introverted. I should live alone. And I discovered very soon I cannot deal with that amount of isolation. So out of all of the different choices, I'd say we each give our opinion, our preference as to what made the most sense and felt like it was the most justifiable to live in a dorm or an apartment or a university apartment, whatever.
Like I said, I think last time, I can't remember what was in the podcast, but I said the dorms can be fun. Like, you can gain some interesting experiences from it, especially if you make friends with your neighbors and you're in like one of those like horseshoe setups or whatever.
Oh yeah,
like,
I have a roommate and 2 suite mates, and it gets crazy fun at times.
Yeah,
but also like
because you can you leave your door open, people are going back and forth, and it can be interesting. But then there's also you can just have them come over to your apartment if they want to come over and stuff. So
exactly.
It's almost forced socialization in a dorm.
Yeah, I mean, so you can get good stories, and it's interesting. Like I think I did say it on the last time. It was do that one for like your first semester or something. Be in the dorm, get an idea of it. If you can do it, cool. But if it's really not your scene, then go for the apartment.
Yeah, because I had technically 2 years, 4 semesters worth of being in dorm life. And granted, it's nice, it's fun, but I wanted my own place. At that point, I think that I thought that I could graduate to an apartment. And granted, it sucks on a financial level, sure. But if you can manage to make enough money in order to support yourself, then it's perfect. Especially if you want something that has more space, that's got all the amenities that you want, and then it becomes more worth it, as opposed to being in a setting that you want to make changes, but you can't.
Yeah, there's so much more freedom allowed in an apartment. Even just touring apartments, it's like, wow, you can hang stuff up on the walls, and they said they could even paint the walls, and I'm like, well, I can't get away with that in a dorm.
No,
no, you can't. I mean, I got away with recalking things, but they don't care about that.
And I'm not really sure about
Plus, you can have all the alcohol you want.
Yeah.
That's very true.
And you don't gotta hide it.
No.
And I'm pretty sure any maintenance requests are probably dealt with a little bit better in an apartment setting.
That one really depends on what apartment you're going to.
Okay, I guess so.
It might have been decent. I whenever I called in and be like, hey, I got a problem, they came out as soon as they could.
I mean, in dorms, you ask for pest control and they come and spray one little line of ant repellent in the middle of the floor and leave.
Yeah, it's not. Well, I look at what maintenance it did for me. There's an AC problem. Okay, let's replace the AC unit outside. Cool, that doesn't work. Still getting hot.
All right. Well, we can associate it with the insulation in your single pane window.
No, that's not the way that it works. It's not the way that it works.
Yeah.
Replace the fur down. Replace the fur down. Still hot. Then what's the problem? Your line's screwed over, but you don't want to do that.
No, it's too hard, too difficult, too much time.
That's too bad. You got to do it. Because if you don't, I can get out of my lease, and that'll be on you.
Yeah, because that's a good example. His AC unit was having issues, and he had to basically go through hoops. I had an AC unit issue too, and they had to replace the whole system. But that one, they came in, did their job, and left, and no issues.
Mm-hmm. My property tried to make sure that I was stupid and I had no idea what I was talking about. And then, of course, it's like the slightly overprivileged child I am. My mother stepped in, who's in property management. Took that on another end and did her thing.
Yeah, you can't sneak past the dude who reads the terms and conditions.
Yeah, no, you really can't.
I tried to scan the terms and conditions of my lease, and I'm just like, there are words there, and I have no clue what they were.
I don't read a single thing.
I read the whole lease contract.
There were like 30 pages.
Oh yeah, no, they
read the whole lease contract, and nothing in there was stuff that I didn't already know, because I had been told that a lot, and I got to read them myself, because things and such.
Yeah,
So both have their pros and cons. Like I said,
my opinion is definitely to, at least, like you said, at least one semester in the dorm.
yeah,
See if you like it, get the experience, get the friends. I mean,
because sometimes it is a financial thing that you're stuck in the dorms.
Yeah.
And so there are ways you can make it work. We have an idea. We might start up something to kind of show you how to be able to cook and organize in there a little bit. But
oh no, we will have a cooking thing. I will show you all how to cook.
Okay.
I can show you how to cook with a microwave, because that's what I've been doing this semester.
So
and I might even get to the point of making gourmet meals in said microwave.
But it's just points like that. Like, you can make it feel homey, like you heard in the last podcast, and it really just is important. The whole thing to make a dorm living work is the social aspect.
Yeah.
You need to be able to make friends.
Yeah, be kind and considerate, and force yourself to meet people, and
when people aren't considerate with you, just be considerate with them, because eventually
kill them with kindness.
Yeah, kill them with kindness, because a lot of times it really works.
Yeah, believe it or not, that's my plan for the next bit of College Kids Corner, is an interview that has to do with some crazy roommate troubles.
Oh man, I got some.
I'm excited.
I can talk to a friend of mine for that stuff.
So that was College Kids Corner. Da 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 da.
But
Yeah.
That was so terrible.
They're gonna keep getting worse.
Yeah. So, do we want to dive a little bit into the news and entertainment too?
Depends. How shallow is it?
It's about 6.5 feet.
No dive zone.
Really? It's a no dive zone?
6.5 feet?
Yeah,
Nope.
that is a dive zone.
Can't do it.
You can't dive in 6.5 feet?
I don't think so.
Are you just obnoxiously tall?
I mean, I am the tallest one here.
Yeah, but not that much taller than me.
Tall enough.
Yeah, tall enough, but not that much taller than me. Maybe like 1.5 inches.
I mean, I'll cannonball.
Yeah.
5 foot zone, I'm like treading water. Like,
Cannonball into the news.
yeah, let's cannonball into the news.
So China's talking about getting rid of our space debris with lasers.
That actually sounds kind of
really
cool.
fun.
Yeah.
That sounds really cool.
I feel like
Can
you
I
might
be a part
be
of this
lying
process?
right now, though.
My first thought was okay, but I feel like there's more terrestrial debris we need to worry about first.
Well, probably.
We shoot it all into space and then shoot it all with lasers, and that solves all of the
boom,
problems at
there
once.
it is.
Can we vaporize things on that level without causing any sort of environmental harm?
I think
Well,
that was a lot of
space,
the.
does it
I
matter?
think that was a lot of the issue was what would happen. Like, some people I saw arguing was like, okay, you shot it, then what?
Yeah.
But I mean, mostly that's just get into a small enough piece that it just burns up in the atmosphere.
I suppose that makes sense.
Yeah.
And what does it do to the atmosphere?
Nothing.
Nothing.
It really
Okay.
doesn't.
It dissolves into dust and goes back into the system.
Yeah, the thermosphere
Science.
will annihilate most things.
That's why you're still alive today.
What?
Because of the thermosphere.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's hundreds of thousands of space debris hitting Earth every day.
Eco-science is not my strong point.
There's stuff falling to Earth every day. It's just it gets burned up before it does anything.
Oh, yeah, the thermosphere is a beautiful thing, but so is the magnetosphere, the very thing keeping you from cancer.
And the ozone layer.
And the ozone layer.
Yay!
Yay, all the layers.
All the layers.
Yay, Earth.
Do we have any science that affects us? Like or not science. That's the wrong word.
Any science that affects us?
I want to talk about those tiny houses.
That's the
What?
news?
I
Really?
mean the tiny houses.
Because I brought them up earlier.
Uh-huh.
No, I just always remember this one episode I saw where it was this full family, right? It was
Family as in how many people?
mom, dad, 3 kids.
That is a full
Moving
my family.
into about a 500 square foot house.
How the hell do you do that?
I've done that before. It's not fun.
They did it and they were so happy. They were like, "Yes, this is the best thing ever."
How much sarcasm's behind that?
None.
Really?
Not behind me. 1,000,002. Behind them, none. They
Did
were.
you know that there's such thing as a 3-person bunk bed? Because there is.
Yeah, I knew that.
It's the worst thing.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I slept on the bottom because I was like, I ain't about to.
Because I didn't trust my brother to not fall through.
No, it wasn't about falling through. It was about me falling off, trying to get down. So I was like, I'm gonna sleep on the bottom because all I have to do is roll out.
When my bed was lofted in my dorm, like I almost fell off several times, but I never fell off my bunk bed.
Yeah, I have a loft bed sitting in my living room. So it's fine.
It is a great. I mean, loft beds can be really interesting for a bedroom.
Yeah.
Like if you just want to do it in general, because then you can set your desk up under there, and give you room for all these activities.
Oh man, in the summer
So
is
many
hot.
activities.
All these
In
activities.
the summer is it hot?
Oh yeah.
Good lord, is it hot?
Oh no, it gets horrible.
You know that whole thing, hot air rises.
Oh, yes.
Just
Yes.
horrible.
But if you're cold-natured like me, that's perfectly fine.
Yeah, all these people. It's too cold in here. We need to turn the heater on.
Don't look at me like that.
I look all you like that.
I am skin and bones.
Fine. You know
I
where
cannot help it.
I'm going to take your living quarters, just that area in there,
Uh-huh.
and I'm going to go put it in Costco with the milk. And you can go live with the milk.
Costco or maybe Sam's Club in the back, in their fridge section, is a giant industrial fridge room.
I know.
And
the
I've
Sam's
told-
Club near my house that just shut down. That's a little bit of news.
Oh,
Yeah, they shut down like a ton of Sam's Clubs for like
Walmart
no
not
reason,
doing too hot.
apparently.
Oh, jeez.
But anyway, they had 2 of the big freezer rooms. It was really cool,
Yeah.
but all like metaphorically. But, but it was freezing cold, and so I would walk in there and be like, "Okay, I need to go get the celery," and then like run back out.
So I always told Toast I'm going to retire in Costco.
Oh yeah, no.
In Costco freezer section, go live with the milk.
Bard, you could live with any of the refrigerator items so long as the temperature stands below 40.
I'd be so happy.
I bet you would. And all of your friends would hate you.
It's fine.
They wouldn't visit you at all ever.
You'd be a very lonely panda.
Yeah, but I'd have milk.
But you have milk.
But I'd have milk.
Milk
Yeah,
and
My bones would be
celery
really
and-
strong.
Oh, then no. I'll still get more calcium than you.
So what are we going to talk about?
Anyways.
Our last little bit of news before we move on to entertainment was what YouTube surprised everyone with this morning.
Man, I think YouTube is...
I say this morning, it won't be this morning anymore whenever this is live, but
I think YouTube makes really strong decisions, and it really helps strengthen the community.
yeah, good job. Are we
Thank
taking
you.
a non-biased stance? Is that what we're trying to do?
I'm trying to get them so we can monetize.
I don't think they're gonna take it like that.
YouTube is great, and nothing bad happens. Not even with nothing in Suicide Forest or Tide Pod s.
None of those. Yeah, they don't just like their advertisers and
No,
not anyone
They
else.
do it for the content creator.
That's why, the
YouTube, we really do care about you.
About you.
your money.
No, just you. Because they put the you in YouTube.
They do.
The you for like university, like they cost a lot of money.
And the you for, I don't know. I haven't got anything.
I don't even know where that went.
I was going
I
to
don't know.
say, something along the lines of some entity siphoning out your money, but,
So, but basically, it was that instead of just the requirement of 10,000 world views,
you have to have 4,000 hours
yeah,
of watch time in a
the year,
365-day period,
which
12 months.
Yeah,
and I'm assuming that keeps updating every month. So if you lose it one month, boom, you don't have. No,
I think it's just with the year because it's a new year, so they're like.
It said something about the past 12 months.
Yeah, so within the last 12 months...
Oh, it is January.
You need this many. And then you also need 1,000 subscribers. And
on top of that, which is a lot.
It is. So, when I first look at this, one, it's not going to affect anybody who's already starting. Two, anyone who can reach the point of those demands, they're going to be fine. Like, if you get 1,000 subscribers and they're actually watching your stuff, you'll get all that time you need by the end of the year. And so it's one of those things, I don't know, I haven't looked into it, so I don't know why they're putting these restrictions in. I guess my first guess was to like kind of trim the fat, where it's like, if you're not being a constant creator, we're not going to spend money on your stuff.
See, that's kind of what it is. It's not constant creator. If you're not quality enough and being watched enough, we don't think you're worth $100 a month or $10 a month or whatever the threshold is.
It's rough to be a start because now you have to. I mean, you have the like.
You may have these goals, but now you have to speed them up.
It's kind of a good and bad. So yeah, you have the goals. So, but now you got to get to there because now you're not just starting with monetization. But when you think about even, I'm trying to play devil's advocate a little bit with it.
I understand.
Because there was a start of YouTube where there wasn't even that thing like where when you started and you could just get monetized. It was if you wanted to get paid, you needed to be big enough for YouTube to see you. Yes, for them to see you and go, hey, we'll partner up with you. That was the only way to do it. So it didn't matter. Until you got 1 million subs, you weren't seeing a single penny.
See, and to me, it's like motivational and demotivational at the same time. Because it's like, oh yeah, if I make this, then I can be monetized. I can have ads on my videos and make revenue from it. But it's also, okay, I was there and now I'm not anymore. Mm-hmm. Like, you gave me a piece of candy and then you took it away.
Right.
It's not okay.
And so that's why it's like the good and bad. Because like us, we're starting. It's rough. We would have liked to have the income a little more.
That is very, very nice art, by the way, Toad. Good job.
But so with any creator, they would like to have they would like to have the income and have it all feel worth it. But I mean, that's just the start of it.
And it just gives us, like you said, motivation.
And then it also gives us the funding to do the big projects we want to do. I
did some looking into what everyone on Twitter was saying, and some people said what you said, some people said what I said, and I actually read an article or two about it, and it says the big thing right now with YouTube is the marketers, the advertisers, they want their ads on certain things, so what YouTube is focusing on at this point in time, it seems like, is making it easier for advertisers, because that's where they get their money from. And
so it's kind of like a way of, it's kind of like a stationed goal to be like, if you get here, then we can trust you. Yeah.
And it's difficult in the same time knowing that all this stuff keeps happening with the stupid Logan Paul guy in the Suicide Force video.
Which was one of the, I don't know I can't remember if you said it or something, but it was that these restrictions and things keep coming out, but they're only more affecting the lower users. Yeah. But the big issue is that all the bad videos that are causing ads to be pulled,
the problems are being caused by
the top people
on YouTube. So I think honestly that YouTube needs to watch their golden children a lot better. Right. And maybe let other people have a chance on occasion.
Maybe have a little section of like a different sub-trending panel of like, hey, here's a small content creator, but
you've never heard of them before,
but he's been
might...
producing constantly, so he can pop up on here for a day or two, and then you rotate that out.
It's similar to these videos you've been watching. You may have never heard of them before. They're not huge, but we think you might like them, so take a look.
Right, and then just throwing that out there for an idea, because if they help the small people get views too, then it's not going to pull away from the big people.
Yeah, no.
They're going to watch the funny
Everyone's
big
gonna
person.
Keep watching the big people.
Yeah, but you can have 100 different sub-channels on your list.
And the more content, the more variety of content that you have in these large channels, the more advertisers have a diversity of, we want to advertise with them, or we want to sponsor them.
Yeah, it works for everybody.
Yeah, so help your little guys out. Speaking of which, as of today...
Speaking of little guys...
It should be in links in most things now. We have a Patreon, where we have some...
Oh, man. I can't wait to sub.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Multiple levels of subscription with different perks, including behind-the-scenes content.
Are you sure people will care to hear this out?
I think so. I think it's some quality content. I mean, I did film it, and I think it's hilarious, but...
Okay, so what? I only have $1 to give. What can I get for this $1?
Oh my gosh, you know what? For $1 a month, you can totally give us that $1 a month, and you can see all of the behind-the-scenes videos.
Okay.
But what about if I offer £455?
Can you put that in American dollars?
How about you do the conversion?
What if I'm doing good? No.
You can do lots of... You could even go to the $30 subscription. For one time, we would send you an Entertainment Industry Studios t-shirt.
I would quite enjoy a t-shirt.
No.
I need more.
So we skipped a little bit. What happens if I give $5?
If you give us $5, not only do you get to see the behind-the-scenes content, but you also get a shout-out in one of our videos by whatever name you would prefer to be called. And oh my goodness, my brain is gone. What is the last thing?
We'll never know. I guess you'll just have to go to the page and look.
Oh my goodness.
What happens if I give $10?
I can't remember. Go to the Patreon.
What happens if I give $100?
We'll appreciate it very much. Oh, I remember now. The other thing for $5 was I believe it was a Discord call with the team.
With the team. Especially me.
You could pitch us your idea if you'd like. Don't pitch our own idea. That would be really good.
Pitch me my own idea so it'll sound better.
I mean, you could try.
If you can make my idea sound better than me sounding my idea,
I will give you your $5 back.
then I have become confused.
And also, if you're listening to the podcast on...
What happens if I'm a kid in Florida who won the lottery?
You could give us all your money if you'd like. I mean, I won't say that it's a tax deduction because I don't believe it is, but it'll make you feel real good.
I've been called a charity case before, so...
Yes, that's not the same.
That's not how that works?
No.
So, was that our sponsorship for the show today?
Yeah, that's our sponsorship. We're sponsored by Patreon. Go.
No, I don't think you can phrase it that way.
That's not how
We're
it
sponsored by ourselves. Go to
our Patreon.
That we're not going to try to shove it down your throat.
No,
That's
is
just
entirely casual. We
purely informational.
Even just the views on YouTube, and also starting now we have a Castbox account where our podcast is also. You can go to castbox.fm. You can get their app for your phone, and you can listen to the podcast on the go.
And just go to our comment section, leave a little heart,
Yeah.
Put one of them little hug emojis,
What about if I leave a dislike?
Then get the hell out of here. I don't care about you.
Why don't you need me? What about if I give a dislike and give constructive criticism?
Then get the hell out of here. I don't want.
You don't want constructive criticism?
You go to the comments.
I would love to know what people would like to hear on College Kids Corner. I would love to know more about what they think we should cover next?
Well, sure, that could probably be important.
The difficulty of classes, and if I take this specific English class and I'm from this state going to this university, would it be better if I took this professor or this professor?
Pull up ratemyprofessor.com and we'll see.
Judge their hotness, which I still don't understand.
It's a little weird.
That's not physically hot,
That's their
right?
attractiveness.
No, that is their attraction.
That's the attraction.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's fun when your professors are not straight. Like
Not straight? Like, what
So
form?
I had this professor my junior college.
Story time.
Y'all are adorable. He was awesome. He was a fun professor.
But
you look at his rate by professor, and not only does it say that he's a good professor, it says that he's very attractive, but he's flamingly gay.
he's
Very
attractive.
homosexual.
So the thing is that to all the girls who are like, oh my god, he's so
It's
hot.
like, guess what?
And then you go from like, I would love to. I'm gay. Oh. Damn it.
But he's attractive, you say.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes, you can go find him, Bard. You can go find him.
So what school is this at?
I'm not going to broadcast that live. Not live, but
Sexy.
all over
Well, just say his name for the whole internet to hear.
It's okay.
No, it's not.
Skillet, so that's fun.
It's not just completely outing him.
Hey, Professor Skillet.
Now,
if you're out
now
there,
is that for
hi.
like a kind of?
Yeah, exactly.
It just sounded like his name, but sure.
It's like, ooh, he's hot.
Oh my god, yeah. Anyways.
On that lovely note.
That's a good website, though.
Pretty much professor.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can be extremely biased, though.
Well,
Yeah.
sure, but
It helps when they tell you what course they took and like
yeah,
how much
because
effort they put.
that's when I mean, it told me the truth, but a lot of the comments when I first took my first Spanish class, I looked her up on that, and everyone was like, she's a great teacher, she'll help you, but she gives a lot of homework. Took the class, she gave a lot of homework, but she was a great teacher.
Remember, children, before you sign up for certain classes, make sure to look things up and do your research. This has been the something information having to do with an interruption of tangential processes within our brains section of the podcast. Exactly.
Are you okay there?
Moving on.
Talk movie and entertainment.
Sounds like a good idea.
Alright, moving into
TV.
Map Square.
TV.
Get over here.
Brand new guest on the show. This is Map Square.
Map Square? Math Square?
Map squared?
Map Square?
I have no idea.
Map squared.
Map?
M-A-P to the second power.
Okay, because
Okay.
where are you going?
Whoever I damn well please, you're not my mother, are you?
Yes.
Oh.
I didn't want you to find out this way.
Mom!
Son!
He's wearing a mask.
And I'm actually your father.
He wanted you to find out this way. Look what you've done to our child now.
You should have cleaned his room.
I told you should have beat him more as a child.
That's very violent of you.
Well, it would have taught you some manners.
What did it tell me, manners?
Probably
You're a
not.
terrible mother.
Well, I don't know if there's a direct case study.
Alright, we're gonna have to do that experiment. The hypothesis is if you beat your children more often, they'll be better people.
This is an 18-year-long experiment, and we need volunteers.
Alright,
It
Send us an email.
would teach you there are consequences for your actions.
exactly. So when I tell you to put the cookie down, you put the damn cookie down. Or I beat you.
It was the last cookie. I wanted it.
And nothing wrong giving a good ass spanking.
Yeah, exactly. Just
It was spanking's always one of those things where you know there's like the dip of things like say Pokemon, right? As a kid you loved it, right? In middle school it was like, ew, what? And then in high school up you're like, oh yeah, Pokemon. And then like spanking it was like dodging it, and then you get to a certain age and you're actively looking for it.
Depends on your preference, but sure.
if that's your kink,
I would say there's a large portion of the population.
are you one of them?
Oh yeah.
Yes, Daddy, that's right.
Are you the
Spank me
giver or
harder.
are you the receiver?
Okay, and then moving on. What was the last thing you watched on
Hey,
Netflix?
that was some entertainment, right? Someone's enjoying their time.
It reminds me of the fact that
Reminds me of the hunt.
yesterday I was sitting in my dorm room and I hear my suite mates listening, or I
Two.
hear them watching a movie, and I go to the bathroom and I can hear through the walls, of course, because these are thin dorm walls.
Right,
And they're watching 50 Shades. I'm like, you guys, why? Why are you both watching it together? Like, what?
Ooh.
Well, it was just a horrible movie in general.
Isn't it supposed to be like a chick flick?
Yeah, they're girls, so
they are girl. I do believe being a girl lets you watch chick
people
flicks.
in my dorm room that I'm living with. No,
You think so?
I think.
I mean,
girls.
have you tested it? Like, do you have
I haven't
definitive?
looked too close.
I think you need to break out the magnifying
Are
glass.
you sure it's not a chick flick? Where baby chickens are watching this type of thing.
And they might
chick
enjoy it
flick.
more than
Yeah.
actual
Taking
humans.
it literally chick flick. You flick.
That's a horrible movie. I don't want to watch chicks getting flicked.
I like Chicken Run. Chicken Run was a
Chicken Run was a good movie.
yeah.
That's some strong stop motion animation.
Yep. But anyways, moving on to
Wallace and Gromit.
yes.
They're the makers. They're the ones who did
Yeah.
it.
Shaun the Sheep,
Oh yeah, Shaun the Sheep.
pretty cool.
All right, moving on. Come on.
What's the best thing you've watched on Netflix in the past month or?
So
whatever?
I've been watching a show called Longmire.
Love that show. It's great.
Yeah, so I'm only in season 2. When I first started it, I thought, because I just saw it said Netflix on it, so I'm like, oh, okay, it's a new thing. There's only going to be the one season. And then I look, and it says there's 6 seasons. I'm like, oh, thank goodness, yes, because I was really into it. I mean, I think they're in I think it's Wyoming based.
That sounds about right.
I still can't quite figure it out, but they're in that area near South Dakota and Montana.
It's not Texas, I can tell you that.
I can tell you that.
That
Yes,
was
sir, I tell you something. Being out here in the country is very nice.
That was lovely.
No, thank you.
So it's small town cop show. I don't know a good way to describe it, but I would just say at least watch the first episode. You'll understand and
Yeah.
can get a good incentive on that. I like how it's just rough old dude. Like, I know everything here. I've had the training and the experience. I can tell you what's going on.
Yeah, I think if you like NCIS or Burn Notice, Bones, things like that, I think you'll definitely enjoy.
Well, because it doesn't deal with a lot of, we need to send this back to the lab for analysis.
Yeah,
He's looking at it. He's just like, yeah, that happened. No, that's a .45 caliber. Yeah. That way. Okay. Yeah, we're good.
Just straight. All right. So that's yeah, he's got his brains bashed in. All right. Yeah. Oh, that's a casing over there. What's that say on the back? 45. Okay, cool. Came from there. Great. And look, the gun is here. That's amazing. Done.
Well, no, he judged one of them just purely by he took a bullet out of his gun, put it onto the entry wound of the hole, and he's like, "No, that's not the right caliber."
We need more people like him.
Yeah,
and the world will be so much of a less crime-ridden place.
It was just he's doing his thing.
I have to perform 5,000 different experiments to figure out what type of bullet it is.
How about we just shove it into the computer system? That's what they do on Bones. That's probably my favorite television show right now.
See, I honestly wish we had a scanner that was that advanced, but I don't think we do.
There's a lot of fictional technology.
The last big thing I watched before this one was I watched Cheers.
Really?
The 1980s show. It was really good.
It was supposed to be really good.
It was really good. Like just from a I guess if you're really into the cinematography standpoint of like how it gets created, it was really impressive how they managed to create such like the characters and the problems and how to get through everything just with one set. Like they didn't go anywhere except for the bar for a while.
That is really unique.
And and it kept it interesting.
Now that's when you have to really... So they set the bar. Now we've got to do something.
Yeah, they set the bar.
Exactly. Put them...
Oh my goodness.
What? The puns?
Just all over.
Well, how about you? What?
The last two shows I watched was Soul Eater, was a damn good animation show, and Punisher.
Punisher's good.
Punisher's fucking
My
awesome.
God, when the first episode really hooks you.
Yeah,
My
how you kill those people in
my issue with Punisher
Mhm.
was that I think I've said it before to other people. I think the whole series based on him needed to be more episodic. It needed to be Punisher doing Punisher-esque things with like the overarching thing of him like taking out the people who wronged him. Instead, there was just a lot of filler stuff building up. Like, I don't want to wait until the last episode to see him. I mean, it's a spoiler, but it's basically he comes in, he basically gets rid of his white skull attire whole season, and basically like the last episode it comes back. So I'm sitting here going, it was fine, but I didn't want to wait this whole season to get there. If I'm gonna watch Punisher, I want to watch people getting punished. Like, when there was
get to see that though.
Yes, you do, but when those moments came, it was great.
Yes.
But apart from that, it was like there's a lot of back with other characters where like I don't care about this character.
Well, you had to watch Daredevil season 2.
I did.
That's when they introduced Punisher, so the intro basically is picking up where they left off.
Right, but still, I just say it. Whoever's directing that area, they're using a lot of the same format over these Marvel Netflix things, and I don't think it's working over each series.
That's where it becomes stagnant.
A little bit. That's why I was saying it needs to be him, and like each episode or a couple at a time need to be him doing a thing, and not just surviving in this one situation.
Correct.
I don't know, you kicked a lot of ass, and I really enjoyed it.
Well, yeah, like I said, the action scenes were great. I don't know him by name, but the actor they picked was perfect for the part.
Mm-hmm. They did. They did a very good job with the sets too. All of the effects were nice. Everything about it, I thought it was thoroughly entertaining. Besides some of the things that were maybe not so much, like you had mentioned.
Yeah, it just.
I don't know, I couldn't pay attention to some of the filler bits. I was too interested in who was going to get killed next. But that's just me.
Yeah, I felt like it wasted a lot of time in parts trying to do backstory and make you feel for characters that I didn't feel like it was necessary.
Because it probably wouldn't have been enough time in order to develop the character enough where you actually have some level of emotion for them.
But it didn't need it. Like it was trying to fit a lot within the season. Where I said it could have. If it wanted to keep those characters and stuff, fine. But it needed to be an overarching thing in the background, and it would have needed to span for like 2-3 seasons instead.
As opposed to being just one.
Yeah, and let the Punisher going around doing Punisher-esque things.
Well, that's why I'm saying if you had any other character introduced within a show such as, then in order to evoke a level of emotion in your audience, you do need to develop them. And if you don't develop them, then it's just this sort of husk of a character. It's a superficial character.
All right.
Now, and that's one of the reasons why you probably wouldn't feel for them. If they're introduced and like, there's this thing that happened to them. Cool. I care more about what's going on here as opposed to here.
And then you get opposite ends of it, like say, I also binged through like Friends not too long before Cheers.
Yes.
And so my issue with Friends was
How can you find issue with Friends?
because it was it was literally like the main thing. It was the Ross and Rachel thing.
Yeah.
And that didn't need to be like literally
It kept coming.
yeah, it was like the main conflict point the writers kept going to for like every season of the series. That was a thing. And so by like season 6, I went, do it or don't. Stop making it a thing.
They needed a different thing to exploit.
Because how many times did Ross or Rachel get happy with somebody, but then it needed to turn back around and have it fall apart?
Because of Ross.
Because they were on a break.
They were on a break. They were not.
They were, though. They were.
They were on a break.
They said they were on a break.
That's true.
So she had no right to get mad.
Well, the thing is, break never turns into anything pleasant. But to get back onto the topic, Okay.
Anything that you all plan to watch when it comes to the Netflixo?
The next 4 seasons of Longmire.
I've just recently started watching Gilmore Girls. I'm like on episode 3 of season 1 because someone recommended it to me, and all I can think about is how I extremely relate to their relationship with coffee. They just think coffee solves every emotional problem, and I'm like, yes.
Do you feel the same?
What about coffee?
Does coffee solve emotional problems for you?
I like to drink coffee and read books, but I don't say it solves every emotional problem.
You just sit there, you're like, I feel so much better. Man, coffee's great. Feeling like, I hate everything about you, Charles, but why? I'm sorry, man. I'm really sorry.
Honestly, that was
great.
me today. Like, I was having a really bad day, so I had a really big cup of coffee.
You walked in and
I walked in.
you downed you had a full cup when you walked in.
The equivalent of a Starbucks venti in a reusable cup, and it was
gone.
It was gone in like 2 minutes.
You didn't even get to sit down yet. And it was
Just that like gas from a 1938 Ford pickup.
yeah.
I sip my coffee and read my books.
Yeah, but you know, you're taking your time.
Yeah, I'm taking my time.
She came in just done.
or listen to trap music. So yeah,
it's really interesting at about 2 a.m. in the morning. Listen to trap music while you're doing some type of activity, because then you get all into it.
Right.
Because like part of your delirium kicks in,
2 a.m.
and you're like, yeah, this is great.
I definitely get into it, and I start throwing up gang signs for no reason.
Other than that, on like the Netflix home front,
that's it right now. I don't look past what I'm watching right now.
Yeah.
That means
other
it's
than
true.
that, I'm binging the show Girls from HBO, which I'm having to watch on Amazon Prime of all things.
So you got Girls and Gilmore Girls.
Girls and Gilmore Girls. Girls is a lot more vulgar and explicit than Gilmore Girls, but it has Adam Driver, who, if you don't know who that is, he played Kylo Ren in the Star Wars movie.
So you got a thing going in for these girls.
And then the nerd.
Oh yeah.
He doesn't portray a nerd in that show.
Nah.
Not gonna lie, I've seen a few episodes of Girls. It was just interesting. I was up late one night.
Why can't there be a boys?
There were.
There are a lot of boys in that show.
No, I know.
It takes place in New York.
A show boys.
Show boys.
It would be so...
It takes place in New York. Shout out to Brooklyn.
A show called Boys would just... No one would survive the filming of the first episode, I don't think.
Alright.
A lot of testosterone going around.
Oh, yeah. God, yeah.
Punching, wrestling.
Just, now we need to show women and then we need to show men.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got boys, girls, women, and men. There we go.
There you go.
I just love the fact that it's probably the most accurate, like, interpersonal relationship portrayal in a TV show I've ever seen. Just going to throw that out there. That's really important in my opinion.
And then we're going to get a show called Senior Citizens.
Well, so...
Yes, please.
If you decide to comment or, feel like we're worthy enough to be talked to, let us know what you're watching, and so maybe you can recommend something for us. But I think that was EIS Cast number 3.
Yeah. You all have a fantastic whatever time it is in your country.
It's 5 o'clock.
Well, here, but you know.
Somewhere.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here, for listening.
And join us again next Friday.
Yep.